Sound checking your microphone is more complex than just doing the 1, 2, 1, 1, 2 kind of thing. So today I'm going to give you some killer tips on how you can sound check your microphone to make sure that you sound good every time you get up on stage to perform. Chicka 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 woo woo. Hey singers, it's Nicola Milan from Singer's Secret, and today we're going to look at sound checking basics. I'm going to take you through some real key things that you need to think about as a singer when you're on stage doing a sound check. If you want to perform in any capacity, you will come across sound checks. So it's kind of a key thing for most singers to get right, particularly because not all sound technicians are created equal. Some are great, and others need a little bit of coaching. So this is why it's important that you know what you're doing to make sure that you get the right sound for your voice every time. The number one complaint that audience members make at a gig is that they can't hear the singer. So make sure that your sound tech turns your vocals up loud enough so that you can be heard over the other band members. And this goes for no matter what type of music you sing. I find that I don't have any edge to my voice, so it's very smooth, which sounds great, but it doesn't cut through. So I definitely get lost within the rest of the band. So I always make a point of telling the sound tech, my voice doesn't have any edge, it's going to get lost. Please make sure you turn the volume up on my vocal loud enough. It's very important to tell the sound tech what you want, because what you hear on stage is actually different to what the audience hears. There's two separate sets of speakers. So even if you can hear yourself quite clearly up on stage, it doesn't mean the audience will be able to. So don't be afraid to tell the sound tech to turn you up if you know that your voice doesn't cut through, or if you do have a voice that really cuts through and it's got quite a lot of hard edge to it, make sure they don't turn you up too high so that you overpower the rest of the band. Tip number 2 is to make sure the highs aren't turned up too much. Now, at a basic level, your sound technician has 4 things that he can work with. You've got the lows to your voice, which is kind of like the bass, and it brings up the low tones in your voice. You've got the mids, so the mid-tones, and then you've got the highs, which is the treble on your vocal, and then you've got reverb. So those are the 4, like at a really basic level, the 4 things that your sound technician will be fiddling around with when he's mixing your vocals. Now I find that if you tell a sound technician to turn you up, quite often what he'll do, instead of turning the volume button up, he'll turn the highs up. Now the highs will make your voice cut through a lot more, but if they're turned up too high, you get that tinny, nasty, peaking sound, you know, when it kind of cuts through and it sounds horrible. Or if it's turned right up, you'll get that evil, high-pitched, you know, squealing-y kind of feedback sound. And that's all because the highs are turned up too much. So if you've got a good sound tech, they should mix the entire band correctly so that you come through nice and clear. But if you're at a pub or a bar and you're doing one of those, you know, background music gigs and you've got some sound tech that doesn't really care, he'll just try and band-aid the problem by turning your high up, and it will just make you sound really bad. So watch him and make sure he mixes you correctly. And thirdly, you want to make sure that you can hear your other instruments through your speakers on stage. So I like to make sure that I can hear the piano over, like through the same foldback speaker as my vocals. So what I do is I tell the sound tech, can I have a bit of piano through my foldback, please? And what this does is it just increases the sound of that instrument for me a little bit. Make sure he doesn't increase it so much that you can't hear yourself. It has to be a good mix. But I listen to the cues of the piano more than any other instrument in the band, which is why I like the piano through my fallback speakers as well. It varies from singer to singer. Some singers listen to the bass player a little bit more, some singers listen to the guitarist a little bit more, but don't be afraid to tell the sound tech what you want. So there are 3 tips to help you get started with your sound checks to make sure that you sound better when you get up on stage to perform. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. And if you would like more free singing advice on how to improve your singing and make it as a singer, head on over to my website, singerssecret.com, and hop onto my email list, because I do put extra singing tips and secrets into my emails that I do not share anywhere else, and you don't want to miss out. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Nicola Milan, and I'll see you next week for another episode of Singer's Secret TV.